Spicy Toast Gaming here, and thank you for tuning in to this week's game highlight. This week we're checking out Viewfinder, a recently released puzzle game which is, in my opinion, the epitome of quality over quantity. Before we get into it though, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel, and thank you to the devs for sending me a copy of their game. I've been doing this for less than a year, and the support that I've gotten from you all has been absolutely amazing, so thank you all again, and let's get into the video. Also, don't worry, this will be a spoiler-free video. The main draw of a puzzle game is obviously figuring out all the puzzles, so I'm only going to be using trailer footage so I don't give away any of the solutions. To start off, I think this game is amazing. The world is beautiful and atmospheric, the puzzles are interesting and a joy to figure out, and to wrap it all up, the narrative of this game is well done and surprisingly emotional. Let's begin with discussing the puzzles, as that's going to be the main draw of the game. Most of the puzzles revolve around you manipulating reality to progress through the levels. Specifically, manipulating reality through the use of pictures and artwork. While this is a very interesting premise and quite fun to utilize, I was worried that the puzzles would start to feel too similar and a bit one-dimensional. However, the game actually has some pretty great pacing and regularly adds new challenges so the puzzles don't feel too repetitive. As far as difficulty, I felt the game was also equally well balanced. The puzzles will start out fairly straightforward and proceed to get more and more complex. And whenever they introduce a new mechanic, they'll start you off with an easier puzzle that just helps explain the mechanic for you before you have to utilize it in some more complex puzzles. The average time it will likely take you to understand and solve each puzzle will roughly be 1 to 3 minutes, or at least that was the average for me. If you ever get stuck too long on a puzzle, the game will give you hints, but the timer for those hints is actually fairly long, potentially 10 minutes I believe. So you don't have to worry about the game giving you hints too fast before you've actually had enough time to try to figure it out on your own. Also, for some of the levels you can find hints scattered around the levels, which I thought was a nice touch. I completed every puzzle in this game, at least I think I did. I wouldn't be surprised if the game maybe had some hidden puzzles that I wasn't aware of. But as far as I'm aware, I completed all the puzzles in the game, and I only got stuck on 2 of them. Those 2 probably took me close to 10 minutes to figure out, but that being said, none of the puzzles actually felt unfair or poorly made. I haven't played that many puzzle games, probably between 6 and 10, but I think this is probably the best puzzle game I've played since Portal 2. Similar to those Portal games, Viewfinder actually has quite an interesting story, which you can approach in your own way. Nearly every level has some audio logs from different notes scattered across the levels, left by those that came before. Now, while the story being told across these different notes and audio logs can be rather interesting, you can completely ignore all of those and just focus on the puzzles if you want, so the game's not trying to force you to care about its story. There's an interesting world here though to explore if you want to. Speaking of this world, it is beautiful and varied. The colors are vibrant, the stylized graphics are crisp, and often I just found myself staring at the beautiful scenery. This is a world that you want to get in and get lost in. Now, while I think this is a great game, and I would highly recommend everyone play it, there is one aspect of this game that will dissuade many people from actually picking it up. It is very short. It took me a little over 3 hours to beat the entire game, and like I said at the beginning of this video, the game, in my opinion, is the epitome of quality over quantity. It's an amazing game and a wonderful experience, but for some people that's not going to be enough. I know there are some that can only get 1 or 2 games a year, and so they want to be able to get a game that's going to have hundreds of hours of content, even if that content maybe isn't quite as good as some shorter games. Now, as I get older, I tend to prefer quality over quantity, so for me, this game is definitely worth it, but I know it's not going to be the case for everyone. If you're interested in the game, I have a link to their Steam page down below, so feel free to click on that and go check it out. If you liked the video, then please like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. Also, we're trying to put out one of these game highlight videos every single week, so definitely subscribe if you want to see more of these. And I hope you have a great day.